Questions for that one? All right, 4 is going to be a little bit tougher because we've got like one extra thing in our denominator. There's no parentheses around that n minus 4, but I'm going to put some right there. So our least common denominator should be all of those denominators multiplied together, right? So I've got 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. That's what we want the denominator to be for these. If I do that here, the first fraction already has a 3. It already has an n plus 2. What does it need? Hunter, what is missing from this denominator? I got a 3, I got an n plus 2. What do I need if I want it to match what I've got written over here? I want it to be 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. For this first fraction, I've got a 3, I've got an n plus 2. What do I need? Okay, that n minus 4. See, we already have the 3 and the n plus 2. We need the n minus 4. So we're going to multiply this fraction by n minus 4 on the top and on the bottom. Okay, so you can see now that my denominator right here, 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4, is what I want it to be, 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. Okay, Jose, when I look at the second fraction, all I've got here is an n minus 4. What am I missing? 3 and the n plus 2. So I'm going to multiply by 3 on top and bottom. And I'm going to multiply by n plus 2 because I'm out of room. I'm going to put it over here on the end. Make sure your n plus 2 is in parentheses when you do that. Now, they are in a slightly different order down there in that second one, but the order doesn't matter when you're multiplying. So now my denominators match. Okay here. So we are going to do like we did on the last problem. We're just going to write the numerator stuff there together. I got 3 times n minus 4. There's a minus sign on this one. Be careful with that. 3 times 2 is 6, so I'm going to go ahead and just make this as 6n times n plus 2. So that's just all of my numerator stuff together that I can do because my denominators are the same, so I can just write it one time. 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. Okay, we are almost done here. We just need to distribute to simplify that numerator a little if we can. So we'll distribute the 3 here. So that gives me 3n minus 12. And then we're distributing the 6n here, and that has a negative that goes with it. So it's going to be minus 6n squared, and then minus 12n. All over 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. That was a little easier way to do this problem. So if I put stuff together now, I could combine this 3n and the negative 12n. So you can write it however you want. I'm going to put my negative 6n squared first. We usually put that like highest exponent first. And then 3n and negative 12n is going to give me negative 9n minus 12. Now, my numerator will factor at least a little bit, right? What GCF could I pull out of the numerator? A 3. So if I pull a 3 out, I'm going to get 3 times negative 2n squared minus 3n minus 4 over 3 times n plus 2 times n minus 4. What can happen with those 3's that I got factored out now? They can cancel. Let's see. If I X method, this one would be a positive 8. It'd be a negative 3. 8. You could do 4 and 2, or you could do 1 and 8. You can't get negative 3 with that. It will not factor. So you're just going to stop with your answer there. It's going to be negative 2n squared minus 3n minus 4 over n plus 2, n minus 4, like that. Okay, questions? All right, let's do a couple more together, and then we're going to look at some of these on your own. Hello? Hey. We are finishing up some notes that I'm going to post a video on that, but it'll probably be about 15 minutes. Do you want me to have a kid run down his note sheet and assignment whenever we get done with that, and then he can work on those? Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay. Somebody's got to run Carson's stuff down to him whenever we get done. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, so number 5. We've got 2v squared minus 8v right here. So I can factor this. You want to factor this before you try to do a least common denominator. So what kind of factoring can I do on that? Is it going to be X method or GCF? Okay, GCF. How do I know it's GCF? What? I can take a 2 out of everything, and there's a variable with everything, right? So, I can take a 2v out, and so I will be left with v minus 4 whenever I do that, because I'm dividing by 2, and I'm taking a v away from everything. So, if I look at my denominators now, they're pretty close to matching, right? They both already have a 2v. I can make them match if I just multiply by v minus 4 on top and v minus 4 on bottom. So if you factor it first, it's going to be a lot easier because you don't have to multiply by as many things. We could do it by multiplying this by 2v on top and bottom and this by 2v squared minus 8v, but the numbers get a lot bigger and then you got to reduce it at the end. So whenever the denominators match, then I can just do 3 times v minus 4 plus 4v, and then the denominator I can just write 1 time. And so I will distribute here
At this time,
3v.
8th grade students that was absent on picture day or need to retake photos, please report to the Media Center at this time.
Okay, so we just distribute that 3. And then we have a couple terms we can put together here. So I'm going to get 7v minus 12 over 2v times v minus 4. Like that. Okay, questions? Okay, so let's look at number 6. We want to factor the denominators first. 3x will not factor, but 2x to the third plus 6x squared plus 4x will definitely factor. What could I do first to factor that? Everything has an x, so what type of factoring could we do? GCF. So we got 2x over 3x. We're going to leave that alone for right now. We have got the 5x just hangs out on top here. We've got 2x can be factored out. So I'm dividing everything by 2, and I'm taking an x away. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then I take 1x away, so I just have x squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I take 1x away, so I just have an x. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then I take that x away, so I don't have an x at all. Now, I would also do this right here because it's going to make your life a little bit easier. In this fraction right here, I've got an x on top and bottom. I'm going to cancel those out. Over here, I've got an x on top and bottom. I'm going to cancel those out. It's going to make our denominator smaller. We're not going to have to like simplify at the end. I do still need to keep factoring my denominator over here. So I've got 2/3 minus, now we just have a 5 on top. I've got 2. I need to x method this. I need to multiply to get 2. I need to add to get 3. What numbers would work for that? 1 and 2 will work. So I'll have x plus 1, x plus 2. Actually, that's fine. Okay, so we did an easier version of this yesterday where we had some numbers out here and then we also had letters. For these, we want to treat the numbers separate from the letters. So 3 and 2, what could I use for a common denominator there? 6. So to get 6, I would need to multiply this one by 2 on top and bottom. And I need to multiply this one by 3 on top and bottom. This one is going to have a 6, this one will have a 6, but the first fraction is missing all of this stuff, x plus 1 and x plus 2. So I'm going to have to multiply by x plus 1 and x plus 2 here. So I will end up with 2 times 2 is 4 times x plus 1 times x plus 2 minus 3 times 5 is 15 all over 2 times x plus, 6. This should be a 6 right there. 6 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. So if these get multiplied back together, they would equal x squared plus 3x plus 2. So we would have 4 times x squared plus 3x plus 2 minus 15 over 6 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. And we'll distribute that 4. Running out of room here. So we got 4x squared plus 12x plus 8 minus 15 over 6 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. And then you could put the 8 and the 15 together. So we'll get 4x squared plus 12x minus 7 over 6 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. I don't know what happened there. I don't think the numerator is going to factor there. You'd have negative 28. I don't believe it will factor, and definitely not to factor anything to cancel with that denominator. So this is just going to be your answer here. Okay, this is sort of like one of the most difficult ones that you'll see here. We will see more of them be like example 5 for that. So we're going to get some practice with this.